All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Timber Uncut Podcast, episode 4. Today, we're here with Octavius. We're in a different room. It looks pretty sick. Everything's set up pretty sick. We're missing Nick today because he's unfortunately unavailable. He is in Bulgaria right now doing a project.
Hey, man, I tried to get him to delay his flight, but you know.
Yeah, it was too important.
It's Bulgarian airports, man.
Yeah, they're wild, man. I've been there like 5 times this year. It's crazy over there.
Yeah, I try to stay away.
Yeah, me too.
It's a nice
You won't
time.
catch me anywhere near the Far East, bro.
We're good.
But welcome to the podcast. Thank you for coming
Thank you,
on,
gentlemen.
man.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
So for those who don't know, you're a producer, I guess, engineer. Like, what do you do? Let them know.
Producer, musician, songwriter, engineer, do it all. It all depends on which check is clearing.
Man, I feel that.
Yeah. Ain't that real?
Right. It's definitely a vibing situation depending on what avenue I have to take that particular day.
All right. Well, that's cool. You get to take a lot of different things, and you get to do a lot of different things. So you're not always doing the same thing constantly. You
Right.
kind of like bounce around, which that's cool.
Right.
But how'd you get like started and all that? Like,
So both sides of my family are musically inclined. Mother's side and father's side. And it was like a thing. It's like you either played or you sung. It was one of the two.
Gotcha.
I can't sing. I cannot sing. I could tell you how to sing.
right.
I could get you there, but I can't sing. So started off playing drums. Well, I wanted to play the bass. I was like 4 or 5, wanted to play the bass. My uncle played the bass, so I was like, I want to be like Uncle Doug. I want to play the bass.
Yep.
But I had an issue with like using my left hand as the main vibe of the instrument. I didn't like that. It was like, nah, this doesn't work for me. But then I was like, give me a pair of sticks. So I started playing drums, age of 5. I was playing drums, played for a middle school band, played for the high school marching band. And then like maybe like 10th, 11th grade year, started playing keys. And just kind of kept sprouting from there. And but in the midst of it all, like my 10th grade year, I was introduced to a program called Fruity Loops. I'm sure everybody's heard of Fruity Loops before.
I have no idea what that is.
It's a production software.
Is it?
It's definitely a production software. And at the time, for the bang for the buck, if you couldn't afford this, hey, you got Fruity Loops. You can't get Pro Tools. Here's Fruity Loops. But the thing is, one of my guys, Anthony Prince in marching band, played the alto sax. Played the tenor sax, and he came in and he was playing like a Super Mario beat.
Okay.
That he had made with it, right? And it's, dun, 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 dun,
Hey.
I'm like, yo, how'd you do that? He said Fruity Loops. I'm like, well, what the heck is Fruity Loops?
Yeah.
And he told me the program. I downloaded the demo of it, and it's been a rocket since then. He doesn't take any credit for it, but I was like, bro, like you introduced me to this. Like I haven't talked to him in years.
Right.
Every now and then, I run into him, but I was like, yo, I would love to give you credit for starting me on. He's like, nah, man, I just told you what it was. You took it from there. He said, you're way further than what I do. Like I doubt he even touches that program. This was Fruity Loops 4.0.
Oh my.
Like,
man.
yeah, and it's on like Fruity Loops 20 now.
Yep.
they're far along with that now.
Right. So, just sprouted from there, and I just kept growing and moving and vibing, and then I realized I can make a living out of this.
Yeah.
Because I truly can make a living out of this. I have friends who are well off and Grammy winners, Grammy nominated. I'm blessed to be Grammy considered.
Wow.
So it's like, to see these different things happen and to know that it's very possible. It's like, oh, all right, so here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything's possible. If you put your mind to it and you really go into it, you can do anything.
Right, absolutely.
That's the cool thing about it.
Yeah, it's fun. Like who wouldn't want to make money off of something they love doing?
Exactly. It's
It's the dream. It's literally the dream.
Right.
Yeah, you get to basically do your hobby for a living, which is pretty awesome because you could set your own schedule. You don't gotta confer to like a boss. I mean, you gotta confer to the client, but you don't got like a boss telling you whatever.
Exactly.
That's one of the nice things about it. But
yeah, and it's funny because like I work at a school. I'm an educator.
Gotcha.
And I have a computer science degree. So everybody's, oh, you went to school for music? No, I went to school for computers.
Yeah.
I could tear your computer apart, put it back together. But it's funny because like every now and then, the students really get on my nerves. And it's like, I look at them, it's like, I don't have to be here, right? And they was like, what do you mean? So then a couple of them who know what I do, they was like, yeah, guys, he really doesn't have to be here. Like, and I've said it to somebody before. I said, this is my side job. Music is my full-time job. They's like, but you come here every day. I said, I need health insurance. I said, you know how many times I've left here on a Friday, flew to LA and flew back just so I could be back on time for work? I said, but I need health insurance. I said, that's why I'm here. I said, health insurance is so expensive and music business is up and down, but you got to keep grinding through it. I was like, until I get to the point where I don't have to, for that to be a case, I'm gonna show up. But do know I don't have to be here. There's a difference between someone who has to be at the school and somebody who wants to be there.
Yep.
Right.
And you could do a lot of things for health insurance. You're choosing to be an educator, be around, I'm not, what grade do you teach again? Or all of them?
The high school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You think that's better than teaching like younger kids, or?
So boom. It's funny that you ask. So I started off, thing is, I said I would never work with kids.
Yeah.
I said I would never work with kids. So, I was talking to my pastor at the time. I said, hey, man, because he was, well connected. I said, you got any gigs I get into? Because I was working at Guitar Center. And I was like, yeah, I need to get a Guitar Center, man. It's mentally draining me. I feel like I'm dead every time I walk in there. I was there 4.5 years. I loved what I did. I just didn't, I didn't like working with dumb people. Yeah. And I hope that's not taken the wrong way. It's like when people come in, I'm a producer. What do I need? You just told me you're a producer.
I'm a photographer. What kind of gear do I need?
Yeah. How do I go about this?
Yeah. Like what do I need? I was like, you told me what you are, and you're asking me what you need. Like, nah, that's not how it works. So I got tired of working with people like that. Yeah. And it was draining. Like I was days I could have been doing studio stuff. I was at work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I cranked from the time I started Guitar Center to the time I ended, I cranked my schedule so well that I had off every weekend. I was off on Fridays by 5. I never worked on Tuesdays because I was always in Philly at the studio. And all my coworkers were like, how do you have that schedule? I've been here for years and I still work on the weekends. I said, listen, my numbers show. It's that simple. It's like, you're either going to give me the days off or I'm not coming. you know, it's like, and he knew very well. It's like, I'm a man of my word. It's like, I'm not coming, bro. Like you could put me on the schedule, but I'm not showing up.
Right.
So, and he understood that. I was like, listen, this is what it is. Like my numbers have proven that. So meanwhile, back to the ranch, I needed to get to I needed something different. Like everybody has a job where it's like, like I cannot do this anymore.
Yeah, I feel you.
And you know, so and it's like every 4 years I feel that way where I'm working somewhere. So I'm at my 4th year at my job now. Just so you know.
It's about that.
He's ready to leave.
It's about that.
He's got. So if you got any job offers, leave him down below. Maybe he's looking.
Drop him in.
Yeah.
But and he said, "Why don't you be a substitute teacher?" I said, "I'm not working with kids." I said, "I'll throw one of those kids through the window." He's like, "You can make your own schedule." I said, "Huh?" He was a principal.
Oh, okay.
He said, and I could put you in my school. I said, huh. So I bounced between a couple different districts where I would substitute at.
Gotcha.
And I was working with middle school and high school. Middle schoolers are a little more sensitive, but they're funny. The high schoolers, I could talk to them more maturely.
Yeah.
And I could really get through to them. So I worked I ended up getting hired at an actual school. He said, why don't you, be a substitute teacher? I said, okay, cool, substitute teacher, blah, blah, blah. I bounced between a couple different districts. Then I got hired in his district as a actual employee, a full-time employee, a year after, no, not even a full year of substituting.
Right.
Okay. They wanted me. They was like, oh, yeah, you're awesome with these kids. Like, you're amazing. I'm like, all right, cool. So I did it 4 years later. And then after the 4 years, he had left the school. And then I was like, all right, well, I'm not sticking around here. So then what I did was I ended up going to a different district where I'm at now. And I started off in the high school, started with 11th graders.
Gotcha.
Then I started working with the seniors. Senior program is amazing because you're a high school senior and a college freshman at the same time because they have the dual enrollment program. So I was like, all right, I could do this. Loved working with the seniors. The pandemic hit. So the kid that I needed to work with wasn't in district because of the pandemic. Nobody was in school.
Yeah.
So they was like, hey, when we go back in session, we need you to go to the middle school. I'm like, all right, how bad can it be? Hated it.
Oh, man.
Because the maturity level was a lot different than what I was adjusted to for the last 2 years.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm like, bruh.
Whole different teaching style, I'd imagine,
bruh,
right? Like totally different way of getting through to them.
And I'm not a yeller, but I'm very stern on when I say something. And I say it. And I want people laugh. They say, oh, so you're so funny. I was like, but I meant what I said.
Yeah.
I truly meant when I said this. And then they find out, I was like, oh, he really meant what he said. I was like, yeah, like I'm not that guy. So then the year ended. So I ended half of the year, in the middle school. Then we came back in session this year. I'm back in high school. Man, yes, love working with the high school. Love working with the seniors, because with the seniors you get to see the transition of them going from their elderly teen years into an adult.
Right.
They're about to go into college. You're seeing them get accepted into colleges. You're seeing them write their cover letters. You're seeing them work very hard to get out of high school.
Yeah.
To be college students. And to watch that transition is something I really love, because I like mentorship, especially with young men, and seeing the turnaround with them. It's like everybody doesn't grow up with a father in the house. Yeah. And I work in the inner city school. So it's very urban, diverse. It's an urban community there. It's primarily Spanish and Black. District, the whole district is like that. Gotcha. So a lot of them, they struggle with certain things. And for me to be able to stand there and be in the gap, to be able to kind of direct them there, is pretty dope, because at the end of the day, I know that I played a part in them being successful. So high school. Yeah. Right. So I know I went around the bush for this question, but high school would definitely be where I would love to be.
Yeah, no, I totally feel that, especially since, like you said, you love mentorship and whatnot. And I don't think there is a better age if you're going to, before they get into adulthood and really, figure out who they want to be. I think that's probably a pivotal age, especially if you're looking to drop some knowledge and whatnot. I would definitely, speaking subjectively, I would want to teach high school too.
Yeah, man. It's a difference, and the maturity level is like this.
Yeah.
And I could say some things to them that I can't say to the middle schoolers and not get in trouble.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
because they're not as sensitive.
Oh yeah, and sometimes they need to hear it.
And trust me, I don't mind saying it. And I've had a couple teachers walk in on me saying something things. They're like, "Well, then," I'm like, "It is what it is. Got to see it through.
It is what it
is. It is what it is." But the student appreciates the realness. Yeah, they truly appreciate that.
I feel like back when I was in high school, those teachers that were always more like down to earth and chill, you were always like, I love this guy, like you know.
But then when they get real, like you knew that was time to shut up and listen. Yeah,
because most of the time they're chill and whatnot. But if things were getting a little out of hand, they'd be like, "All right, this is enough," and you'd be like, "All right, I respect this guy." But then some teachers, man, oh my God, you just wanted to like it was on sight, man. I swear.
Listen, and that's the thing. Like some of my coworkers, it's like students come in my classroom complaining, "Oh, this teacher has not." And I look at them, I'm like, "Okay, I hear you," but then I give them my perspective of the situation, and they're like, "Okay, Crowley, you got that." They're like, you're right. That makes sense. I was like, I know it makes sense. It's like I've been trying to help you this whole time. Yeah. So they respect that. They respect the fact that somebody can put a twist on it so they can see it from a different light. Because nothing like somebody just yelling at you, but not explaining to you why they're yelling at you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Not explaining to you why they're down your throat. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I could look at you guys all day, be like, "Oh, you're not close enough to your mic." Well, tell me why.
Am I close enough now?
Yeah, you are. You're definitely there. but nothing like me saying, "Hey, can you get a little closer to your mic so we get a better line level going in?" That way, when you go to do the edits, you have a clear perspective.
Like, oh yeah, sure, no problem. Man.
Exactly. A lot of my coworkers yell. I was like, I'm not yelling, man. Yeah. Listen, come in and sit down. And they will. And then my class gets rowdy. I get quiet. I'm like, let me know when you're ready.
Yep.
All you hear is, "Shut up, yo. He trying to talk." You're like, yo, sit down. I'm like, "Stop cussing. My bad, Crowley. But sit down." I'm like, thanks. But I love the realness of my students. I love that factor of them, because the respect level that I've gained from being true to them. Because nothing like somebody being true to you. You know what I mean? Like having that perspective, knowing somebody's looking out for you, even though they don't want to be there, they're still looking out for you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like a big brother almost, in the classroom type thing.
Exactly. Like I got a couple boys, they brush up against me, they try to bump into me, so they found out I'm solid. One of them tried to bump into me, and I planted it, and he bumped into me and fell. He said, "Dang, Crowley!" He hit the ground hard, and I just started laughing. I was like, "Hey, man, got to see it through." Yeah. I said he hit the floor pretty hard too. But he was like, "Crowley, why you hit me so hard?" I said, "No, you ran into a brick wall." That's what it was.
You made an error, my friend.
Yes.
You made a mistake over there.
And then all his friends was like, "Dang, Crowley put you on your ass." I'm like, "Hey, man, that's what it is. That's what it is."
No, that's really dope though, that you get to have that kind of experience and do music. I mean, those are like you're living the life right now in terms of that stuff. I was going to ask though, with these students, do you ever find that they have an interest in production? Like, do you ever help them with anything in that regard? You know, get them into it the way you said your buddy got you into Fruity Loops?
I run an after-school program.
Oh, there you go.
On Wednesdays, I run an after-school program. It's a music production and creating program.
Okay.
We have a handful of kids that come. We have some kids that learn to play guitar, kids that are learning how to do production, kids that are learning how to record, and we have some singers in there learning how to songwrite. We've worked on the songs thus far. We have a guitar player that we added to the song. Mm-hmm. So like they come in every Wednesday and we stay from about 3:30 to 5 o'clock.
Okay.
And we do the production. You know, I teach them every step of it.
Yeah.
And I start them from the dirt. I was like, look, this is what this does. This is what that does. And every week I show them something different to help them progress. Excuse me. So it's like, and then more and more kids ask about it. So in the district prior, I worked in the Boys and Girls Club as well. And I did the same thing. I ran a program called Sound Off.
Okay.
And with the Sound Off program, they came in, they learned how to songwrite, they learned how to record, they learned how to use Fruity Loops. I put Fruity Loops on all the computers. Had 45 kids that showed up every week for this program.
That's awesome.
That's great.
45 kids. They showed up faithfully. They were there.
Yeah, and they liked it. They enjoyed it. They were like,
yeah,
that's awesome.
They'd come in, put their headphones on, you wouldn't hear a word.
Yep.
They just diving in, figuring it out. And like, just show that they were like, hey, man, and Boys and Girls Club, they call him Mr. O. They hit Mr. O, can you show me how to do this? I'm like, all right, click, 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 click. Thank you. Then they go back to headphones, silence. People walk in my class like, why is your room so quiet? I said, they all have headphones on.
They're working.
They're working. They're working.
Yeah.
And then they was like, you mean to tell me this is all we had to do to keep them quiet? I said, you ever notice anytime you come in my room, even without the music program, it's not rowdy? Because I had the computer room.
Yep.
In summertime, everybody wants to go to the computer room. Nobody wants to be outside. They go outside running around sweating. Then they come in my room. The air conditioner's on. They're chill. They're zen. But they come in and just hang out. And it's like they knew that I didn't play the games. It's like, listen, if I tell you to do something, I'm only going to say it once. And they chill out. They get on the computers. They learn the music production. They had fun with it. They enjoyed what they did. And I've had kids come through here where it was like, like some kids I was mentoring, showed them different things. And they're excellent musicians now.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Have you ever had any as clients, kids from school at all come in and, have anything produced?
Kids from my school?
Yeah.
I don't accept my students as a client.
Okay.
I can't, because then they're in my personal space.
Gotcha. Now that makes sense. That makes sense.
I told them when they graduate, if they would like to work with me, that's different.
Gotcha.
But like while they're in school, absolutely not. My job is too sensitive for that. Mm-hmm. It's like, because all I need is for a student. Like, oh, I was hanging out with Mr. Crowley. Oh, Mr. Crowley did this. Nah, I'm good. Yeah. I'm good. I don't need that on my life.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Right.
Have you had any graduated students come back then in that case?
I have a student who graduated who wanted to come and be an intern. But this is when I thought I was going to be moving my studio to Ocean City.
Gotcha.
Prior to deciding to have both locations going. Mm-hmm. And he was willing to take the drive and everything, but then he just like never heard from him. But I do have a young man I was mentoring who's not a student who's come through a few times just to sit in and learn and absorb and to figure things out.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'm not getting too deep for you guys.
No, you can get as deep as you want. The deeper you go, the more people will get like pulled in and it's like, I love this.
Step into my web.
Now we got you. We got you. You're sitting here. You've been listening. Yeah. I know you have.
Watching the whole time.
Yeah. They've been laser focused.
Right. Love it.
It's been 3 hours and you don't even know it.
That happens.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, so then let me ask, right? So you start with Fruity Loops. You you started with a tenor. You said tenor saxophone he was playing, and he playing the Mario theme song on.
Well, he the tenor saxophonist, what he did was he was using Fruity Loops to make the beat and told me about the program.
Okay.
So then I went home and figured it out from there. And then I was working Fruity Loops up until I graduated college. Gotcha. When I graduated college, my mom bought me a MacBook.
Okay.
Bought me a MacBook, and then I got Logic. And I've been running Logic ever since. So that's been 2010.
Okay.
So since 2010, I've been running Logic, and now I'm like a wizard. It's just like...
Yeah, second nature at this point.
Everything's just... I could literally close my eyes and click around Logic like it's not a problem.
Just muscle memory.
He knows all the command keys. He's just boom, boom, boom.
But you know what? Nick actually knows more commands than I do.
Yeah?
Some things he showed me, I was like, huh. Because when you've been doing something for so long,
you kind of get used to a pattern, and
exactly.
you just stick with that. Because once you start introducing more things, you're like, oh, well, hold on,
mesh your system,
right?
Yeah,
right. And Nick was like, yeah, you do this and it does. I'm like, huh. I didn't know that. You know,
look what else you know.
right. Yeah, but and I'm definitely proud of him too. Shout out to Nick, by the way, guys. Shout out to Nick.
Yeah, shout out.
If you don't know who Nick is by now, he's the other guy that comes on that normally sits next to him.
Yeah, shout out to Nick.
Yep.
Nick came in a couple of years ago, started learning Logic, getting it under his wing, and he's been prospering. Definitely been pushing the bell. And like I say, he came in hungry.
Yeah.
He was learning it. He figured it out. Then he was working with Ace Enders from the early November as an assistant with him, and he was learning Pro Tools. So now he knows Pro Tools better than I do. So Nick's been the killer.
Young prodigy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and just keep him. I told him keep pushing. I said at the end of the day, you got to keep pushing because consistency trumps everything.
Yeah.
Consistency and loyalty will trump anything that you do. Consistency, loyalty, and character, and integrity. I'm throwing a lot at you now. All that stuff. I said, bro, just stick with it. There's ups and downs all the time. Yep. Like I said, I have ups and downs in the studio all the time. I said, but just gotta keep pushing, and you'll see the development of your clientele, the development of your character as a producer, as a songwriter, as an engineer. You'll develop different things and different attitudes towards it. So keep pushing. That's all. That's what it boils down to.
I absolutely agree 100%. And I think you're right. Knowing Nick, I think he's hungry. He definitely wants it more than anybody at least my age that I've ever met. He is absolutely on the grind with the production, for real.
I mean, the young man's got his own studio at his age. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I wish. I had it, but it was in the garage.
You still had it. And
Mine's in my room.
That's true. You start from somewhere and you build your way up.
Oh, yeah. Listen, if I showed you pictures of the bottom of the barrel to now, you'd be like, wow.
But that's like part of the fun, like part of the process.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But I'm going to be completely honest. I feel like I made better music with having less because I had to figure it out.
Right. You had to really focus and really be like, all right, if I'm gonna do this, I gotta dedicate some time to this. I gotta really sit down and figure this out.
I had to figure it out, and it was like even like my sound choices, the way my production was, it was like, yo, I really had to dig deep because I had to prove something to the people who had the thousands of dollars worth of equipment. And I only had the 500 total worth of equipment, and I had to figure it out. And then once I was working at Guitar Center, that played a part. I was like, oh man, I could put this on layaway and I could get it in this amount of time. Yes, I got this now. I got that now. And it made me appreciate things. Now it's like, I just go buy what I want. But, oh, yeah, I need this. I need that. Cool. And it's like, I felt like it became too easy as opposed to when I was younger, man. It's like, I really had to work for it. Yep. And that's being completely transparent. It's like, I felt like I made better music and because I had to work harder to keep the sound up to par to everybody else. I had to sculpt things,
Yeah, absolutely. And at least in my subjective experience with it, like when I knew nothing, so to speak, about, writing songs and making music, I almost felt like not having any rules makes you try more creative things. Like, for sure. Like once I started really looking into, song structure and whatnot and the little bit of production I do, which is horrible, but, the little bit of production,
bad. You make some good.
Well, but it was like before I knew any of the rules and like any music theory, it didn't matter what I did. It was all about just being creative and getting in the moment. But I definitely think that you're right. That when you lack that hunger a little bit, you definitely start feeling it.
Right. Absolutely. It becomes addicting, honestly, because it's like, oh man, I could do this. Oh wait, I could do that. Because like when I was working with Fruity Loops, like in order for me to record my songs, I would come out of the jack where the speakers were, and then plug into the mic of a boombox. That way I could record the songs. And I would literally, because I had the demo version before my cousin gave me the money to buy the real version, because I had the demo version, what would literally happen is I would literally go through and click the pattern change for each part of the song.
Okay.
And that way, it's like, oh, at this time I need to do this, need to do that.
Oh my God.
And I was recording it to a tape.
And you were doing all patterns, you're saying, in FL Studio?
I would have to go click each pattern for every time I needed to change.
That would take forever.
And I was just like, click, all right, it's about to change, all right, pattern change. And that was before I even knew about like mixing or anything like that or how to edit. Like I was making songs that were like 10 minutes long before I knew about sound structure. Song structure. And people were like, man, like I would take it to my march band director and be like, hey, I made this song, check it out. he listened to it. He's like, this is a long song.
It's like a 45-minute MP3. He's
Right. It was on tape.
Oh my god.
It was on tape. I was recording
he had the little mixtape.
Yeah, recorded right into the boombox. And then he's it's pretty cool. He was like, yeah, you got to shorten some of your songs. He's like, they're like 10-minute songs. I was like, yeah, it didn't feel like 10 minutes because, just vibing. But then once you learn the structure of a song, it's like, okay, nobody's playing a 10-minute song on the radio. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're lucky if you get people to listen to a 3-minute, 33-second song.
Yep.
So, but that comes with growth and that comes with learning, comes with digging in and figuring it out and being around the right people. I've been blessed to be around some dope people, being in some dope areas, being in front of people. It's like, hey, these are legends in front of me now. Like they're showing me this is how you do it. And so, when the legend's in a room, what do? You listen.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you better
what else
listen.
can you do?
You better absorb as much knowledge as you can.
Right, man. And like being around, like when I was doing the iStandard showcases and the iStandard beat battles, like being around people like that and then getting introduced to other people to be put into certain rooms, that stuff, like it opens a whole new world. Like if it wasn't for those moments, I wouldn't have the mindset I have now. You know what I mean? Like when you're working out a quad, you're working out of Paramount Studios. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? When you're working out of these places, Patchwork, when you're working out of these places, it's like, yo, like I made it. You feel like I made it.
Yeah.
Like I remember when I walked into Quad for the first time. Quad's a studio in which Biggie got shot, downstairs at the bottom.
Oh, okay.
I mean, not Biggie, Tupac, sorry. Where he got, so it's like you walk in the elevator, it's like, yo, this is where he was shot. Yo, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And then you get scrolled up, you walk into the rooms like, yo, they still have a room, the B room, where, I'm sorry, Daddy's house recording. I apologize, not Quad. Daddy's house recording was where they had the room for, Daddy's house recording was Puffy's studio.
Okay.
So I've worked out of there too. So they still had Biggie's room, the B room, set up just how he had it.
Wow.
Yeah, so you walk in the room, it's like, this is Big's room.
This is where the magic happens. It's exact same, like,
right.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So then, like, that was the elevator downstairs where Tupac got shot. This and third. So you walking in, it's like, yo, this is crazy. Like, I'm working out of Bad Boy right now. Then when I worked in a Quad, I'm working out of Quad right now. When I was at Paramount in LA, I'm working out of Paramount right now.
Yeah.
It's like, so all these things are happening. It's like, yo, all right, I'm doing something right. So I need to listen. And you got the legends in the room. You shut up and listen, and absorb.
Absolutely. And so, what when you were doing all this, what genre would you say that you're pursuing? For anyone watching who's wondering, like, what all that music was sounding like when you were on that journey, where would you describe yourself at?
Hip hop, R&B,
Okay,
neo soul. I do inspirational gospel.
gotcha.
I do pop. I even do bluegrass. Funny. It's funny.
Interesting.
Like,
All right.
So we can segue there. There's a group called Gangsta Grass that I work with. They do bluegrass and hip hop.
So like a combo?
It's together. So shout out to Gangsta Grass. Gangsta Grass is they actually got me my first #1 Billboard.
Either on the next episode.
Listen, when the next time they're around, I'm like, hey, if you guys got time for a podcast, I got some young men who would definitely be interested in joining. They're super dope and they're real chill, real cool to be around. And then next thing you know, and the thing is, I didn't even know about it. I kept getting tagged in posts. I was like, why is everybody tagging me in something? And I'm like #1 Billboard. I was like, really? I was like,
oh my god.
I was like, okay, all right.
That is crazy.
Real crazy. And the thing is that when I posted it on Instagram, I got, this is back when likes were like a big ordeal. I care less now. It's like
that phase.
Right. Yeah, it was like, yo, man, like not enough people realized what was happening. They saw it, they was like, oh, okay. And I was like, do you realize I got a #1 Billboard?
Yeah.
And then when I say it like that, they was like, wait, what? I was like, yeah, you just scrolled past it. You didn't realize what was happening,
Yeah.
which is fine. Fine and dandy. So then that same group, Grammy consideration.
Really?
You better stick with them.
Right. So I posted up and then, a few likes here and there. And then my boy called me. He said, wait, did you just post a Grammy consideration? I said, yes. He was like, are you effing kidding me? Yo, let's go. I was like, hey, man, it's all God. To God be the glory. You know what I mean? And so a lot of people that they know what I do. They see what I do. And I encourage you guys for this as well. Don't let the lack of people's attention to your post of your successes be a downfall for you. Because there's a lot of people who watch me. A lot of people watch my stories.
Yes.
Consistent. I mean, like, they watch hard. People that I know don't bang with me watch hard. Don't like not one post, anything. So I give them a show.
Yep.
Like, you want to watch? Cool.
Yeah,
I'm going to give you something to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to let you keep watching. Like, my friend, shout out to my big brother, Bangalore. I don't know if you guys saw the new Arby's commercial.
No.
The new Arby's commercial has Pusha T on it, right? Pusha T did a diss track for Arby's about McDonald's.
Oh, no way.
Right?
That's crazy.
My boy is the one that did the beat
Yeah.
for that song. So what happened was, the backstory behind it is do you guys know who Pusha T is?
Yeah.
Okay, so he was in a group called Clips with his brother, grinding, boom, remember that beat, whatever. So what happens is, they wrote the original jingle for McDonald's, but never got the credit or the recognition for it years ago.
Really?
So then Arby's comes out with a fish sandwich. Pusha T does a diss track. Him and Arby's come together.
Yeah.
He does a diss track about their fish sandwich. And one of the lines he says, I think he says, I'm the one that made everybody love him. Now I'm gonna be the one to crush him. Talking about McDonald's.
Yeah.
So it's like, wait, what? So it comes back to, it's like, I got people around me doing great things.
Mm-hmm.
My boy DJ Camper, Grammy award-winning producer. He's worked with her. He's worked with Jill Scott. He's worked with
fantastic artist.
Big Crit, John Legend. You know what I mean? He's worked with a little bit of everybody.
Did you say John Lennon?
John Legend.
Oh, I think you said John Lennon.
Legend.
I was like, oh, hold on.
Drake.
Okay, that's cool.
You know what I mean? So it's like he's got all these people that he's worked with. My boy Luke Witherspoon worked with some dope people as well. He's worked with people like Chrisette Michelle. He's worked with her as well. Then I got my boy Nook Beats. He's got some amazing artists that he's been vibing with. I've got about 50 projects under my belt since 2013.
Wow.
Like, projects that I have my hand in, with some dope people. So it's like, being around the right people and having people close to you, having people within your reach to be able to talk to and bounce off of is important.
Yeah.
Networking.
Exactly.
We went into this in our previous podcast.
Yeah, we did just have a podcast
on
about
networking. See how important we were online.
and speaking of networking, when I was doing those beat battles and stuff like that, I was doing like the I Standard thing, and then I was doing something called Beats Per Minute up in Brooklyn, or it might have been Bronx. I think it's Brooklyn. I don't remember.
Brooklyn, Bronx. It's
New York.
Yeah.
And we're doing these showcases, and the Beats Per Minute is like, you had 10 tracks, you played 10 tracks. But you didn't play full packs, like a minute per track.
Gotcha.
And you vibing. There's nothing like you being in a room and Pete Rock is sitting in the room with you, knocking his head to your beats. It's like, yo, DJ Premier is in the room with you, knocking his head to your stuff.
Yeah.
You got Buck Wild from DITC knocking his head to your stuff. It's like,
Crazy.
Yo, these are legends giving me approval.
right.
Yeah. High Tech from High Tech and Talib Kweli. These are probably people that you guys don't know, but these guys are legends. I promise you, they're legends. And it's like they're in the room with you, knocking their head, like looking at you like, "Ooh, this young man's got some stuff to him." And it's like that feeling is amazing. Then you fly to LA, you're working out of Kanye West's studio. It's like, bro, like nothing like when I walked in that studio, I see Kanye West's Grammys around. I'm like, yo, I'm in Kanye West's old studio, like. And he just left it out, just like this is like, you could feel like the greatness is like, yo.
Yeah.
As much as people don't like Kanye because they think he's nuts, I think Kanye is a genius. I don't support his political efforts that he had going on, but
musically,
you didn't vote for Kanye.
But musically, like, the man is a genius, bro.
Oh yeah,
like he's one of my inspirations. Like, to be honest, when it comes to the music, like the man is just phenomenally a genius when it comes to this thing.
Oh, I agree 100%.
So like all that networking got me into his studio. It's like, bro,
That's crazy.
That's great. So let me bring it back for 1 second. Then you were talking about earlier how like when you were younger you felt hungrier and whatnot. Do you think the thing now that keeps you hungry is being in rooms with people who you look up to? Like no matter where you're at, just knowing that there are people who you still look up to that you're around. That's what keeps you going now.
Oh yeah. Like it's nothing like knowing that I could pick up my phone and call a legend.
Yeah.
And knowing that they'll answer the phone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Knowing that they answer their phone, like one of my big brothers, Baby Black out of Philly. he worked hand in hand with Jazzy Jeff at one point, and it's like, this guy's a legend. It's like I could pick up the phone and I could call him and he will pick up every time that I call, without a shadow of a doubt. One of my other big brothers, Dr. Period. You guys remember that song? You might be too young, but remember that song, Annie Up. Annie Up, and all right. So that was a hip hop anthem. When you get a chance, everybody look up that song "Annie Up" by M.O.P. Right? That's your homework.
Yeah,
that's your homework. Next time I see you, I need you to tell me every lyric. All right, so
I'll have the whole song memorized. I'll know the
I'll
key.
know every note.
Right.
We'll have we'll have a cover done for you too.
right. I love it. So
full music video, everything.
I'm all for it. So the guy that produced that beat is one of my mentors. I could pick up the phone and he will pick up and call him. He will answer the phone every single time.
Yeah.
Every single time. And it's like, it's funny that I could call all these legends, but it all comes back to I grew up with legends. You know what I mean? Like my grandfather, my uncles, and all of them, all heavily musically inclined. Like, it's crazy because I could literally walk into a room and people would be like, "You're Deacon Crowley grandson, aren't you?" I'm like, "Yeah." They was like, okay.
Wow.
You're taken care of.
Yeah.
You know, I could walk into a room. They were like, you know Pastor Bogan? Yeah, that's my uncle. That's your uncle? Yes. Okay.
So this is more than like a musical family. This is like your legacy.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Absolutely. And it's like those people, like when like, because like, you know, as you know, I'm a minister of music for 2 churches.
Okay.
That
you do 2 churches?
Yeah, it's the same ministry, two different locations.
Oh, okay.
So Sundays are heavy for me. That's why I'm normally drained and tired. But like I could walk into certain ministries and be like, oh, that's your family. Okay, you're taken care of.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, to know that I have that aura where I walk in and my name carries weight because of them. Heavy. That's heavy, man. It's like, and some people be like, oh, no wonder you're musically inclined. You grew up with them. It's like, yeah, but you know, it wasn't always music with them. It was a lot of discipline.
You're like, you see them as musicians.
Right. So it became a thing. It was like, you know, like growing up with their integrity and with their push and knowing what they did and how they operated, to like to this day, like some of the people of that age, they know, like, man, your grandfather, man, that man right there, like that man could sing.
Wow.
And when he walked in the room got quiet. Like
right.
but you know, my grandfather had that type of aura to him. He walk in the room, shift the whole room.
Yeah.
Shift the whole room, and people
that
like
presence.
Yes, and people was like, man, like you carry so much of him with you when you walk into a room. I was like, do I? He's like, I'm just regular smuggler. I'm chill. I could walk in the room and not say a word, and the room just like
everyone's just like, oh, yo, hold on.
It just kind of shifts a little bit. And I'm like, man, that's not me at all. But like, and more and more people tell me that, and I don't see it. I'm like, I promise you, I'm a regular person. There's nothing crazy about me.
We're all regular people, but the way we see ourselves is different than the way other people see ourselves.
Right.
Which is, it's an interesting thing to think about. It's that psychology kind of, you know, the brain or whatever.
Right, because I've had somebody tell me within the last 3 months, and they've said it to me more than one time. They said, we don't know what it is, but when you walk into the room, you control the room. I was like, I just walk into the room and sit down. They's like, no, you don't see what we see. And
right.
I see it. I mean, I guess it's a good thing. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Like,
I would say it is.
Just intimidate everyone. You're just commanding, like, just, I don't know. You have a presence, I guess. I don't know.
And to me, I'm just regular schmegler, you know?
Yeah.
I walk in and sit down and observe. And like, they was like, you know, you don't say much, but when you do, it's like when you talk, the room stops. I'm like, really? Like, I'm sure it's not that serious. But like, you know, but having that type of character has kept me in great places. It kept me connected to dope people.
Yeah.
And you know, people I look up to, they say, oh man, you got it. You guys like, no, I'm trying to get where you're at.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Like,
yeah.
And they was like, nah, man, you got your own studio, this and third. You got Grammy considerations. You doing this. We always see you working, always working. I say that's because consistency is my most important product.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, consistency is my most important product. Without consistency, I can't do any of this. You know. So hopefully I'm encouraging you guys or something.
Oh, yeah,
so.
absolutely.
I feel like I'm just talking and rambling now.
No,
that's the point. Talking rambling, talking about this, talk about that.
You did mention consistency a few times. So if, like, for anybody watching, would you say that's number one? Like, if you're...
Oh, yeah. You could be trash, but as long as you're consistent, somebody will be on your door.
Yeah.
Or you'll
get better.
eventually grow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Like consistency. I'm telling you, when I tell you consistency is my most important product, I have the clientele I have the amount of records that I have because I've been consistent. And the thing is, like my quality is consistent, my body of work is consistent, my turnaround time is consistent. If I say it's going to be done by this time, it's going to be done by this time.
Gotcha.
No matter how tired I am.
Yeah.
Because I told you it's going to be done by this time, it's going to be done by that time. You know what I mean? And like if I say, okay, we need to do this, we need to do that, we need to do that, they trust it and it works.
Yeah.
So like I'm consistent. So, you know, and I'm always like learning and growing and reaching out to people, say, hey, how'd you do that? How'd you do this? How did this work for that? That comes along with your networking.
Yep.
Having the right people in your circle
Absolutely.
and building. And the biggest thing is you have to build with people around you. You have to build with people around you who are consistent. Build with people around you who are going to encourage you and push you. The weakest link in your circle will show you how weak you are. And that's a true statement. If you got people in your circle who aren't as strong as you are mentally, who aren't as strong as you when it comes to consistency, you're only going to be as strong as your weakest link. So your whole team needs to be
You need to be grinding on
top,
the same level.
top tier at all times. Like even though like I'm not always here, I'm working at home. Like I got a little home set up. You know what I mean? I'm working, getting stuff done.
Yeah.
And like sometimes I don't want to drive out here. You know what I mean?
But you do it anyway.
I do it anyway. But it's one of those things. Is like, listen, like that level of expectancy is a thing.
Yeah.
It's a true thing. So it's like keep the right people around you. That is so important. Don't have people around you that's gonna let you slack.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if you're around somebody, like for example, within these walls of this whole square that you know of the 4 studios here, right? You can't tell me that you don't feel inspired when you walk through the doors.
Absolutely.
Dude, every time I come here, it makes me. I was like, damn, I need my own. Like, I need a building or something. I don't know. I
need to do
like,
something, right?
Yeah.
It's like I need that. And that's what it's supposed to be. Like, you know, I'm blessed to have Nick, I have Tyler, I have Mike and Chris on the other side of the wall. It's like at any given time of the day, you can walk in and hear something. It's like, oh man, they're working.
Yeah.
And there's nothing like when everybody's here working. It's like you can literally walk room to room to room to room to room. It's like,
Hear something different everywhere.
Yes, it's like this is crazy what's happening. So and it's nothing like having that feel and that pressure of love. Because it's like, yo, like Tyler hit me up like, hey, you coming in today? I'm like, nah. He was like, oh man. Like he feels disappointed. I was like, like, bruh, I'm tired. He's like, all right, well, I was hoping I have some friends around. I was like, everybody else is there. He's like, yeah, you're right. He said, but you know, I want to walk in all the rooms. I was like, okay, cool, I got you. I
want to see what everyone's doing.
See everyone's doing, but like that stuff is what keeps you going and keeps you encouraged and keeps you pushing, it keeps you driven. Because at the end of the day, consistency, you gotta have there'll be days I don't have a client for a week or so. I'll come in here and still be doing something.
Yeah.
Because number one, paying rent here. But
might as well.
That's so, number one.
Yeah. So, but I'm like, listen, if I'm paying rent, I'm coming in, I'm going to sit in here, I'm gonna sleep here, whatever I need to do to make it worth it. You know what I mean? But like all of that stuff is important. Having the right people around you. That's key. Very key.
I think that's you. I mean, we in our other episodes we've talked about networking. We just had a promoter on last week who does show promotion and whatnot for people all over the country. And he was talking about it. He was saying, I asked him pretty much the same question, like, what would you say the biggest thing for you would be? And he's like, well, you know, consistently networking is more or less his answer. Always reaching out to people, always trying to get better, always trying to go bigger. And I've heard that sentiment too many times to not want to relay it here on the show and say that that's absolutely, you know, the truth. I think 100%.
It's so important because you never know what call you're going to get from somebody. You never know what opportunity you're going to get, who these other people know. You just never know. Like, for example, like I went down to Florida. I met a guy down there because he was down there doing like media stuff like I was. And then a few months later, it turns out he was also from Jersey and he's a music artist and he knew what I did and he likes my work. So I ended up working with him on a music video.
There you go.
So it all forms a little circle and a little bubble and you have this whole, you know.
Yeah. And the consistency, I would think, would be to keep that reputation. You know, he works with you, and he's like, he's a solid dude. He does good work, you know. And then, you know, somebody else, like, they're like, yo, what's that guy Rob like? Oh, well, he does solid work, you know, and he's consistent with it. And, you know, you do that, and you keep reaching out. I mean, that's gold.
And, you know, there's something about Jersey. Like, Jersey is the known as the Garden State, right?
Yes.
So we're known as the Garden State, but Jersey has some of the best talent
Dude, there's so much talent here. There's I've
Some
met
of
so
the
many
best
people that are so
talent.
That's one of the reasons I wanted to start the podcast, was to bring people on like that, to give them some kind of
Right.
spotlight or showcase, or like try and get people out there or get people known or something, because there's so many people here that are really talented in all fields, whether
Right.
it's photography, video, production, an actual artist, whatever. But people just, I don't know, they just don't have the reach, or they don't know how to get out there, or they just, I don't know. Jersey's it's like dead for like that. It's like, it's weird.
They call it the graveyard of music because like it has some of the best musicians, some of the best songwriters and everything. But everybody has to leave Jersey for people to be recognized. It's something about and I'm gonna segue here. So it's something about like people not appreciating what's in front of them until it's gone.
Right.
Yep.
Like don't appreciate somebody don't wait till somebody no longer deals with you to no longer appreciate them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Appreciate them while you have them, because like think about it. I have a couple friends who are great, awesome, but they had to leave Jersey to really rock it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They literally had to take that step to be like, yo, listen, this is where I need to do.
Yeah.
I have to leave here because nobody's appreciating me here.
Yeah.
And like I have a little brother he's into fitness, and he's very well known and like great trainer. He's done so he should be a Zumba master trainer. It's like Zumba has like a segue, not a dance fitness, but they have a segue where it's like really intense workouts and all. He was one of the master trainers, but he wasn't really appreciated until he would travel outside of Jersey.
Yeah.
Like he traveled across the world, and it's like, yo, he's like, man, bro, I pulled up there, and it's like the love that people gave to me. He said, makes me want to leave Jersey.
I don't know. I feel Jersey. It's weird because people want to support you, but at the same time, nobody wants to actually really support you here. It's so weird. But I feel like that could happen in a lot of other places too. But I don't know. Just from what I've seen with this state, it's weird because anyone that's actually made it with music from here, they're not here still. They're in LA. They're in Atlanta, and like,
Yep.
and the few that have made it from here.
I think it's really competitive because the artist pool and talent pool is big here,
Yeah.
in my opinion, but the scene is so small. Like,
Yeah.
if you want to get noticed, like say you're dope, you're coming out of Jersey, most guys will go to Philly and do some shows, and if they start popping in Philly, they'll go to like Atlanta or they'll go to LA or they'll go to somewhere else. Like, there's not really a city here that like people go to, and it's like, oh, that's where everybody in Jersey goes, and they get it on there. It's like you go to Philly and then you leave the Northeast for the most part.
Yeah,
most
like,
of the guys
let me
I
get
know.
out of here. I need to.
Right.
Yeah,
I need to branch
a
out.
lot of guys. Yeah, for sure.
And I've even noticed that like I've gotten more love outside of the area. Like, kid you not, I went to, my uncle calls me, who lives in LA, excuse me.
Yep.
And he's like, why am I hearing about you in California? I'm like, he actually lived in Rancho Cucamonga, which is weird. Yeah, it's
Where's that?
That's an interesting name.
It's in California.
Rancho Cucamonga.
Rancho Cucamonga. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah,
name
so
for a town.
he's like, why am I hearing about you in California? I'm like, what are you talking about? He said, yeah, I was working with this guy on some music. We was at the studio, and somehow your name came up. He was like, that's my nephew. and Mahoko was confused. He was like, how do you know about him? And he's like, oh man, this guy, he's top notch. And I'm saying to myself, I was like, I don't know that guy.
It just happens.
And then it was a time where I was in LA walking down Hollywood Boulevard. Guy spots me from across the street. Right?
Yeah.
Yo, ask. I'm like, what is this? and my boys are with me, so they tense up. They ready. They was like, what's up? I was like, I don't know this dude's running. He's like, you Octavius Crowley, right? I'm like, yeah, I know such and such. I follow you on Instagram, this and the third, yada yada. And it's weird to me because I'm like, I don't know this guy.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's like the work has proven itself.
Yeah.
But it was weird. It was like, he was like, yeah. To this day, I don't remember his name. And he's just like, yeah, man, I love your work. I got this album that you worked on, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Thank you. I appreciate it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And all that. So we walk away. My boys is like, do you know who it is? I said, I have no idea who that is. And then he was like, we're in LA. We're not even home. We're in LA.
Yeah.
I was like, I know. And my
That's
one boy
crazy.
who had never experienced this stuff before, he was like, does this happen all the time to you?
You're like, yeah, every like 2 seconds.
And I'm like, I'm not that well known, I don't think. And he was like, this guy just ran up to you saying he knew you from Instagram. I was like, bro, I don't know. I said he knew me from working with somebody else. And I was like, okay, cool, fine and dandy. And then it's like, you know, in LA, I never know where I'm gonna end up. I never know who I'm gonna see. Like, my boy Camp, he called me one day. He's like, pull up to the studio. I was like, all right. He knew I was in LA. He's like, pull up. We pull up, and he's like, yeah, Kelly's coming through. I'm like, Kelly. He's like, Kelly Rowland. I'm like, all right, cool. We chilling, we vibing. My boys are with me. I was like, I got my boys with me. He's like, yeah, but tell them to come through. I was like, all right, cool. So my 2 boys are there. We chilling. Music's going. Kelly Rowland comes in. She sits down. She's got sweatpants on, hair's out, flowing. Beautiful. She's gorgeous. She's more gorgeous in person than she is on TV. Comes in, smelling good too. She like her scent filled the room.
She got Versace on.
Right. She came in. He was like, damn.
Yeah, everyone's looking around. They're like,
so my boy is he's sitting behind her, and I'm like, and in my head I'm like, he's gonna embarrass me. Because he's sitting over there, he's just like drooling. And I'm like,
yeah.
You're like, oh no.
So he sends a group text with me and my boy. He's like, bro, she smells so good. I said, I swear, if you say one word to her, I'm gonna throw my phone across this room. And he's like, bro, like she's so gorgeous. I'm like, Jose, I swear, if you say one word to this lady,
you say
you are
hi.
done.
I said, I promise you, I will send you out of here. So by the end of the night, we go home. We go to the Airbnb. 'Cause, you know, when I travel, I do Airbnbs and all that. He's like, bro, we was in a room with Kelly Rowland. I'm like, yeah, of Destiny's Child. I know. He's like, bro, that's crazy. But as we're walking out the studio, Trinidad James walks in.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, because he's working with my boy, my other boy. He was like, and we saw Trinidad James. I was like, I can't take you anywhere.
I was like, yeah, that's something that happens.
Yeah.
And he was like, is this every time you come to LA? Because it was his first time in LA. I said, bro, I told you, I never know what's going to happen when I go to LA. I said, I never know who I'm going to run into. I never, like, when I worked in the Paramount, my boy was just on FaceTime with the artist Her before I got there.
That's crazy.
And then, like, that like 5 minutes later, he had got a call, a single that he did with Mary J. Blige, and Nas was dropping at 6 o'clock in the morning, but it was 3 o'clock a.m. that time.
Yeah.
We were up in the studio anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, the vibes is going. We listening to it as it's dropping. And my boy was like, does this happen all the time? I was like, bro.
You never know.
You don't understand.
I said, I can't take you anywhere with me. And like, I was just, all I kept saying was like, if he says something to this lady, like, you're really about to ruin everything for me right now.
I'm not gonna lie. I'd be the guy who says something. I'd be like, I like that perfume.
You would be on some
dumb
ignorant shit.
What's
I
that?
said you would be on some ignorant shit.
Yeah, dude. I would say something stupid. Absolutely, especially if he was talking to her. Oh my god.
And like I said, everybody in the room was chill. We hanging out, we vibing, music rocking, heads knocking, and all that. And it's just like, man, I'm in a room with dope people. Like I'm in a room with 1/3 of Destiny's Child.
Yeah.
Think about that. You know what I mean? It's like
just kicking it, like not like paid to be at a show or like, you know,
kicking it, working on music, chilling. You know what I mean? So it's like things like that keep me going.
Yeah.
You know, it's the vibe. It's always the vibe, man. It's like consistency gets me there. Staying connected with people gets me there. Doing right by people gets me there. And then, you know, and like I said, it all comes back to that consistency aspect.
Yeah.
For sure.
And then getting there, I'd imagine, keeps you hungry. Like once you see that, you're like, I want to do this again. Like I don't want to fall off. I want to be here. I want to live here if I could.
Oh, I was supposed to move to LA about 3-4 years ago.
Oh yeah.
I was supposed to move to LA, but something with the family happened, so I stayed.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I was out of here. I was gone.
Yeah.
I was.
Yeah. We were looking last year. We looked at apartments in Anaheim. We were looking at some places, and not too bad pricing. But I don't know about in LA. In LA, that pricing is that's something.
Well,
that's different.
My cousin lived in Granada Hills. It's the outskirts of LA.
Okay.
Granada, but still LA County.
Yeah.
But it was Granada Hills, and what she was paying for her apartment is what I was paying for my apartment here at the time.
Really?
I was like, oh, I could do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you also got to think the cost of living is higher there, but minimum wage and all that is higher over there too. So all the other wages are higher. So it's like it kind of balances out. I was like, man, I'd come over here. And another thing, the East Coast people will run circles around West Coast people.
Oh yeah.
People over there chill. They like move a little slower at their own pace. Us over here, we're go, make it happen.
Yep.
So like that's why a lot of people when they leave here and they go over there to work, they're just killing it.
They're just not stopping. They're just going
nonstop.
And everyone's like, "Yo, bro, calm down. What are you doing?"
Right. And us, we're like, all right, let's move, let's make it happen, let's go.
On to the next thing.
Yeah, and like here it is, 5 albums done. They're still working on the one, just chilling. I'm like, nah, I can't do that. Can't do that.
I made a joke about it one day. I was like, dude, everyone's more chill on the West Coast because everyone's trying to leave the East Coast. Like, if like from like 80% of the people, at least me, I'm like, I want to make enough money that I don't have to live here. Like,
I ain't living here forever.
Bro,
I'm going to Washington State.
I'm not for the cold weather. I was like, bro, I need to go to LA where it's always nice.
Yep. There's also more opportunity out there because there's so many more. Just everyone's out there, artists, whatever. There's so many people out there that are in the a creative field or space. You have so much more opportunity and so many more people to actually work with.
And you know the thing about LA is everybody treats you well because they don't know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they don't know if you're somebody big time or not because everybody big time out there is real chill. Like you know how many celebrities I see riding around in in LA, and like there's chilling, riding. You'll see people walking. Like, oh, that's such and such. I'm like, do not be starstruck. One year I went with a friend and I. We went to LA, and while we're there, it was like one of our last 2 days there, and what happens is my boy calls me. He's like, yo, I couldn't get you in the studio, but we're gonna do breakfast tomorrow. I said, okay, cool. He said, meet me at Dupar's. Shout out to Dupar's, best French toast you ever have.
Dupar's in LA.
Dupar's in LA. He was like, meet me at Dupar's this time. I said, okay, cool. So we get there. We're walking up. She taps me. She says, that's April Jones. I'm like, who's April Jones? She's like, that's Omarion's baby mom. Omarion from B2K, Icebox and all that stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it's like, that's Omarion's baby mom. I'm like, okay. So I didn't know who she was. To me, she was a regular person.
Yeah.
And we're all at breakfast, chilling, hanging. Yeah. And I told one of my friends, like, yeah, I'm having breakfast with April Jones right now. My boy Camp, this and third. And they're like, you're having breakfast with April Jones? I was like, yeah. She was like, you're lying to me. I said, nah, she's definitely right next to me.
You're like, you want a picture?
Right. Like, and people are like, how do you just end up having breakfast with April? I was like, I don't know. He called me, told me to pull up. And I didn't know who was going to be there. We're sitting there eating, chilling.
Yeah.
It's just chilling. And stuff like that happens all the time. And I was like, man, I got to move to LA, man.
Oh, absolutely, dude.
You know what I mean? Regular people. Dion Cole ran into him at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. He's a comedian. Shout out to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles LA too. Get there, y'all. Yeah, man, it's like you never know who you're gonna run into.
I'm sure.
Never know. Fun times.
When we went last year, and it was a similar experience. Like we're walking around, and I don't know how many people the few of you guys took pictures with, like just random people walking.
I don't
around
like
the
taking
street.
pictures, but the thing is, like the people that I've met in things like. Out of people that I've met who are, you could call them celebrities, but they're not like I haven't met someone like Drake, like a big time. But like,
I don't think that's gonna happen, bro. I don't think he's out without security much.
Probably not. But like, I've met people who you can call them like a micro whatever celebrity, like whatever. Like they have a name, and people know who they are. They got followings on Instagram, whatever. People know who they are. So like, when people would like meet these people, and like people would freak out and be like, oh my god, it's this and that, and it's like. Just a normal person, man. Like, you don't gotta treat them like. I don't understand that when people freak out and there's with celebrities and shit. It's just like they're just another human, man. They're just
yeah.
Like I don't know. I don't.
Super starstruck.
It's weird. Yeah. It's weird. I don't get like that. Like when we were at Saddle Ranch and Adam met that
Swag Boy Q. You ever hear that guy?
Yes.
He's a TikTok guy.
Yes.
He's got like 36 million on TikTok, maybe more. I don't know. And they're like, oh, we got to get a picture with him. We got to get a picture with him.
This man's there with his girlfriend, like eating dinner.
Yeah, a bunch of like friends and shit. And he's like, oh, we got to go.
Yeah, we got to get some pictures.
I'm like, I'm good, bro. Like, leave him alone.
Right.
Yeah.
But you know what? They appreciate people like that more. They do. People, I'm telling you, like when you're down to earth and not so, oh my gosh, I get it. They appreciate you so much more, bro. Like they're like, yo, like
I'm just a normal guy, man. Like,
and you know what? You know how many of them want to actually just have a normal day?
Yeah,
I'm sure, dude.
But you can't because you're so well known, and I don't know why, but people go crazy for that.
Right.
It's
a normal conversation.
They truly just want to have a normal day, just be like, yo, man, come and vibe and all that. But yo, shout out to Nick Sacco walking in right now. Come on in, Nick.
Wait,
you got here.
Go, Nick Sacco, Sack Attack.
Bro, come on.
There he is. Come
Big
on
Sack.
in. Join us.
Ladies and gentlemen, clap it up for Big Sack.
There he is. Yeah, let's go.
There he is. You came just too late. The camera shut off at some point again. I don't know when, so we'll be dark for a little bit. So if you're looking to come intern at the podcast, let us know.
Yeah.
Indeed. Listen, interns are a thing. Interns also take out trash. They also clean the bathrooms. They also do the food runs. I'm telling you now, if you are my intern, these are things that you will have to do. Yes.
Laundry.
Yes.
Laundry.
Bathe me. I normally handle my laundry, but everything else, like when especially if I'm in work mode, yeah, like I'm gonna need you to do that.
Yeah.
Like because I don't want to take my mind off of this. Like, hey, I need you to go do that for me, please.
They're learning the business. You need the food when you work, so they're gonna go get it. They'll learn.
But you know what? Like going back to what I talked about earlier with Daddy's house recording Puffy Spot, that was a thing. It was like, bro, like everybody was like, did he really make them go get cheesecake? I was like, yeah, he really made them go get cheesecake. Go get cheesecake.
You think he was kidding?
Right. So it all comes down to that. So it's a thing. It's like, people frown upon. It's like, man, you're really gonna have them clean the bathrooms and do this? Yes, that's a part of the process. Because when you can appreciate everything that you have to do at the dirt of it, when you're up here, it's like, yo, I understand it.
You can remain humble and kind of.
Something I told somebody, I said, if you could stick with me and continually take out the trash and do all these runs and all that, I said, consistently, you'll learn something from it. And then when you learn it, it's like, I got it.
Yeah.
And people's like, what do you mean? He's taking out. I said, no, trust me. There's a lesson. I've done it. I've done like just same routine stuff. Then it was like, oh, okay. If I could take on taking out trash consistently, take on doing the store runs consistently, take on just being the assistant consistently, I could hold my own. And long as I can absorb and multitask at the same time and see what they're doing while doing all the dirt work, it balances itself out. It's like, oh, okay, I get it now.
Yeah,
you're teaching me work ethic. You're teaching me consistency. You're teaching me how to go get it. You're teaching me how to multitask. A lot of people don't say it. They was like, why am I constantly take out the trash? Like an audio engineer, why am I constantly take out the trash this whole time I've been here? But what have you been learning? What have you been absorbing this whole time?
Yeah.
But if you don't have that mentality, you won't understand it.
And it has to get done. So I mean, like before you had an intern, you're doing it. Like they're going through the process you went through. When you first start, and you got to build up. I mean, if you don't start at the bottom, I mean, you won't appreciate it. Like you said, what that takes, what it really takes day in, day out to make stuff happen.
Right. It's all about that growth. And like I said, got any interns out there? Let me know. I'll sign your papers for school. I promise I will. So, but yeah, guys. So I hate to be that guy, be the bearer of bad news.
Oh no, that's all right.
It's all right. We're only 4 hours in.
But I appreciate you guys having me. It's been a thrill.
Absolutely.
It's been fun. I hope that I was able to answer your questions didactically and with acuity.
For sure. No, trust me, this was perfect.
Yeah. So
best one yet. So do you have any closing statements before you go? Anything you want to give us a little bit of knowledge for anyone starting out and they're just getting started. Give us a little bit of knowledge for somebody. Start with the end in mind. Start with knowing where you want to go with it. It's okay not to know. It's okay to still be trying to figure it out. Especially people who are in their 20s. You're still young enough to make mistakes, and that's okay. Mistakes are part of the process. But the thing is, consistency, integrity, and character will get you everywhere you need to go. There's nothing wrong with having ups and downs, nothing wrong with going through the process, because the process is what's going to build you and it'll make you stronger. Like some issues that bother you guys won't bother me, because I look up, oh, okay, you'll be fine. Yeah. And then you're like, no, I'm not going to be fine. And I'm like, trust me, you'll be fine. And I'll be very calm, saying, you'll be all right. No. I'll be like, okay. And then next thing you know, yeah, you're right. Yeah, it wasn't that big a deal. Like, because the thing is, your energy is drained by what you give the most negative attention to. You'll be fine. This is life. We're growing, consistently growing. Keep learning. Always be a student. Always be a student to somebody. Be a student to yourself, because look up stuff by yourself. You guys have computers in your hand. Look it up. Yep. Figure it out. The power of it. And even though I think it's a mind drain, but it can be. Yeah. If you're on social media just scrolling all day, every day,
no. Because social media is raising our kids.
Oh man,
social media and
kids that are like
TV.
2 have a fucking phone. It's like,
right.
I didn't get a phone till I was like 14, man.
Yeah. Right, and so all those things. Stay emotionally and mentally stable. Make sure you know when to take breaks. Make sure you know when to have a you day. Mm-hmm. Make sure you know when to turn your phone off. There's nothing wrong with turning your phone off for a day.
Work-life balance is important.
Yes.
That's very important.
If you're spiritual, make sure you stay connected. If you go to church, make sure you're attending regularly, not spot attending. Make sure you're getting those concert feeds, because consistency.
Yep, I was just about to say it's all about consistency.
Consistency makes the structure. Like I said, consistency is my most important product because I'm consistent. I can provide a product that nobody has.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. And now, because of that consistency, would you like to do a shameless plug for anyone watching in case this gets quite a few views for Instagram and like that project?
Pull up to the studio, man. Pull up. We got some rooms here that need to be filled with some people in them. We got people in them, but we need you guys to fill these booths. Fill this podcast, fill these photography. Shout out to Rob on photography. Yeah, shout out to Pete on the artistry. Shout out to the man Nick on the engineering recording.
Pop in real quick. Pop in real quick.
Say hi.
Give him some words of wisdom, my boy.
Yeah.
He can't see. You gotta literally right here. Like literally where my hand is. They'll probably see you. Okay.
Oh yeah, that works.
Gang in the building.
Yeah. Let's fill this podcast up like he said.
Shout out to yeah, you heard him. Shout out to my family. Shout out to my pastor, my church family, all that, my regular family, my friends. Shout out to my little boo thing, my little chocolate drop. You know what I mean? You know who you are. You know who you are. We ain't gonna say no names. You know who you are.
That's me.
But all those great things. But I appreciate you guys having me. I look forward to possibly popping in again with you guys soon.
Yes, sir.
And making it a thing. You guys haven't actually encouraged me, because my friend and I were talking about doing a podcast of some sort as well. Well, we'll probably bring some people in on it. It's a different type of podcast, but it's going to be quite entertaining.
Yeah.
Who to call for the setup?
Oh, listen, and the thing is, I'm all for it, man. Listen, it's a family now. Everybody scratches each other back around here. So I appreciate you guys. Yep. Oz Crowley on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I don't use Facebook that much, but yeah,
you're on there.
I'm on there. It's there.
We'll put them all right up above you too. The links. We'll have Rob edit it.
Oh, don't worry. It'll pop up. There'll be a little tag that pops.
Yeah, just follow me on Instagram. Yeah, I'm not going to go anywhere else.
All right.
So, but appreciate you guys.
Yes, thank you very much for coming on, man. That was fantastic.
Thank you for having me.
That was awesome.
And then thank you guys for watching. If you're here watching the visuals, you find us on YouTube. If not, you could find us on all podcasting platforms, whether you want to watch us on or listen to us on Spotify, Apple Music. It doesn't matter.
Let's go.
But thank you for being here, and we'll see you guys next time.
Signing off.
Boom.
In the words of Nick,
Boy, you fuck, you shit out of luck. You should grab your Dutch and double up. Heard that you been poor, ain't even